I can't find my notes. It's gone now?
Yeah, it's on.
Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to Eppa Worldwide. I see some people waiting on me. Oh, Lord. I hope this thing is. Yes, it is. How is everybody doing? If you are watching me, welcome. Welcome to Eppa Worldwide. I just want to say thank you to everybody that has been here with me from the get-go. Thank you to everybody that has been supporting from the very onset. I want to say that thanks for coming here with me this evening. Good evening, God Sent. Thank you so much for joining. Essential Circle, I see you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everybody who has joined me this evening or this afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me. Today, I was going to come here and talk about financial abuse. It's a topic that is on my heart for a very long time, and I think it's about time we talk about it. So while you join me, if you can share it in the Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, any group that you are on that anybody can benefit from it, kindly do that, and let's learn one or two things today. I was in a class in Russian, and my notes that I have down has been missing by my kids, but I know we are going to get through it together. I want this to be interactive. If you are watching me, you can ask a question, comment, anything you want to say, you want to add, I will respond to it, okay? So whilst we wait to do that, let me share this to a couple of platforms, and then we're going to come back and get this taken care of, okay? You can share me out if you want. I'll appreciate it very much. This will help somebody, I'm sure. So if you can share me out, kindly do so. Let me try and share myself out as well. All right. Thank you for your patience, okay? If you haven't subscribed to me yet and you are watching me, I will suggest you help me do that so that we can all learn a thing or two together. Your support is very much appreciated so that we can all share this mission on bringing an awareness on parental alienation, trauma, abuse, and its effects on us, okay? I'm going to try to not make it me-centered and just tell you my experience. I'm just going to try and help you understand what these things are first, and then we can talk about specific experiences and specific examples that I know of. So first of all, if you're watching, like I said, share me out, subscribe. I have my membership tab open with magnificent benefits to members that will join. I'm not a YouTube expert, but the little I know so far I can share with you. But most important, my focus here is to raise awareness on parental alienation, which most of you know what parental alienation is if you have been following me and you have been watching my videos. If you haven't yet, I encourage you to watch the introduction to Eppa video. Also watch the second video that describes parental alienation specifically. You will understand what they are. Parental alienation is a phenomenon that affects children a lot. The main cause of it is divorce. Divorce brings about both parents bickering, fighting, and based on who have custody, eventually they use certain tactics, which I have described a lot of them on this channel. If you haven't watched my videos yet, kindly do that. You'll benefit from it. So aside that, the focus here is also on trauma, abuse, causes, how we can prevent it, how we can cope. And that is why I'm here. So today we're going to talk about financial abuse. Most of the time, we don't, if you have any question, let me know and I will address it. Kindly chat with me in the chat section so I will know and respond. Okay, so financial abuse is one of the main types of abuse. We don't talk about it a lot because we don't think it's an issue, but it comes with a lot of emotional abuse. The tactics abusers use is to first, based on the power they have financially, and use it to manipulate situations in their favor, use it to control you. Remember, in all types of abuse, regardless of what it is power control, power, authority over the victim. That is what abusers focus on. The authority, they want to continue to maintain supremacy over you. And that is the reason. It is very common among us because you have some people that don't have an income and they are married, don't have an income, and somebody wants to date them, and because of their financial need, the person will use it. Oh, I'm giving you this, but you don't sleep with me. I'm giving you this, but you don't do that for me. So these are some of the tactics they use. Some other ways that financial abuse can be executed is through employment, through education. Some men, some women, they do not want you to advance, to proceed and become somebody above them. My goodness. Am I having a call come through? That is not good. Oh, it's here. I'm sorry. Guys, I'm very, very sorry. Okay, somebody is. I'm very, very sorry about that. I didn't know that my volume was not turned off, guys. I'm sorry about that. Very, very sorry about that, guys. So, like I said, I wrote some things down, but I lost them because I went to a class and in the middle of the case using my computer, they lost my records, my notes that I prepared for you guys. But we are going to get through it. I will give you very, very specific examples that you will understand. So, based on research, we do not talk about financial abuse. One of the reasons is cultural. Like, who talks about money? The money belongs to both of them. Why is somebody even thinking somebody will abuse somebody? That is one reason. Stigma is one of the reasons. Another reason is like, because we stigmatize, the person that is in the situation don't feel comfortable talking about it. You understand? If I'm feeling awesome closet, oh, hey, I know who you are. Thanks for joining. So if you are
also, by the way,
no,
I'm talking about
no,
like
I'm talking
if people do
by, I don't know how to mute it. Sorry about that, guys. When you have kids, I hope you guys understand. Hey, Fabulous. Hey, Simple. I see you all. Thanks for joining me. If you can share me, try and do that. If you can, I miss you too, Fabulous. I miss you so much. But we're gonna talk this evening, okay? Yes, guys. So what I was talking about is based on culture, stigma, social judgments, taboo. These are some of the reasons that makes people not to talk about it. But if you are with somebody and you want to go to school and the person don't want you to go to school and they don't have any reason, like, oh, why do you want to do this? Most people that care about you and like your progress would like to pull you up. So that if they are not there, a good husband, a good wife will want to see their partner advance, go high up, so that if God who knows, if something happened and they are not there, you, the person that is there, can pick up the pieces and not struggle, or life becomes bearable. You see, but in most of this time, you find yourself with partners who don't want to see you progress, who don't want to see you. Typical example was myself. I remember very well when I don't want to make it today's topic so much about me, so it gets boring sometimes. Whereby I go to school, I'm a mother, I work. The only time you get recognition is when you bring money home. Don't look at it like, oh, because you brought money home, you are being appreciated. Why? What was the instance? What happened when you were not bringing money home? Was the relationship still the same way? You have to be observant. You have to pay attention to these signs. When you go to work, your partner calls, especially stalking you. They look at the time, they call you, be like, hey, you're supposed to be home at this time. Why are you not home yet? Honestly, that somebody will see it as caring. But has this been happening already? At what point is it beginning to happen? At what rate? How often is it happening? Is it becoming an issue whereby if you are late 5 minutes in getting to the house, then it's a big deal? So abusers use manipulation, employment, education. These are some of the tactics that people use to control you financially. Now, you're talking about bank accounts. Do you have access to the bank account? Do you not? When it comes to bank accounts, shared accounts works great for some families. Everybody owning their accounts and sharing their part of the responsibility in the family also works great for other people. Personally, I'll give you my experience when it comes to finances. Okay, I was married to a man that, when I came to the United States, every time I went to work, when I came, of course, I came here to him with my own visa lottery, of course, but with him and his family. So I ended up having a job with a company that his uncle was working with. This man knew what time I got paid, what minute. Actually, most of the time, he even got my paycheck and brought it. That same minute he brings the paycheck, he says things like, oh, you guys need to borrow me money. It's different from when you were not here. You get it this time. Your wife is here. Make sure I pay you back. This, like that. So abuse can even go beyond just you and your partner. Every time came in with a paycheck, it has to go to an extended family of him, his side of the marriage. So when you start standing up and start saying, why is this so? Start asking questions. Your risk of your abuse becoming intense increases. So at this point, when do you say it's enough? At what point do you say why? At what point do you start asking questions? Don't let it slide. That is the purpose for which I'm saying this. When these things start happening and you are not comfortable with it, the first step is communication. Start talking about it. Start identifying them. Identification, communication. Don't just let it slide. Oh, that's his family. Remember, you went and worked and brought the money in. You understand? You went to work and brought the money in. So if you don't have access to the money, and you don't ask questions why the money has to go, do you think it's fair to yourself? Or you want to be like, I'm married to him, I'm married to her, so it means I'm married to her and her family, I'm married to him and his family. This goes both ways. Men get abused in marriages, women get abused in marriages and in relationships. Think about it. You are a man, you are married to a woman, that every single time you have to be, it's different when you are rich and you want to do it. But every single time you have to be pushing money, digging it, even if you don't have it. Sometimes even your rent, your mortgage, you have to take it to go and take care of your in-laws. And if you don't do it, your wife gets upset. Would she or rather feel comfortable you being homeless whilst you use your rent money to go and take care of her family? So financial abuse cuts across, but research says that women are the most at risk. They are the highest people that are at risk. Like I said, the first step, identification and communication. When you start observing signs that you are not comfortable about, you need to start talking that very same minute. Another example I will give you, this is also personally my example. As I'm here talking to you right now, I have had my kids with me for at least since May, June last year. But as I'm talking to you, I have still been paying child support. I haven't received money from my taxes this year because it was given to my ex-husband, even though my kids are with me. Stimulus check that were given this year, I didn't receive it. I didn't receive none for myself or for my kids. So this is why I'm raising this awareness. You need to identify them and start working on them very early on, because I've been divorced, I've been separated and divorced. January 1st will be 11 years. But I am still being financially abused. These are the reasons why I'm bringing this awareness. So you learn from the very get-go. Learn your spouse, learn what works, learn what does not work. You have bank account. Maybe you have a joint bank account. By the time you realize, you go to the bank account and a large sum is gone. I remember very well giving money, both me and my ex-husband, we gave money to my mother to buy us a piece of land in Ghana, specifically. And guess what happened? A few years later, his friend sent us documents, like, guess, land title. So I knew that document was coming. Then I kept asking, is this document ever going to come? Oh, it came long time. I signed it and sent it back. So what name did you put on it? He said, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Opari. I was like, really? Anybody can be Mr. and Mrs. Opari. You understand? So at that point, you need to start talking about, so before you even buy a piece of land, before you even think of doing property, there must be an interaction, a conversation, a communication. Ask a question like, hey, what name are we going to use? How are we going to do this project? At what rate? Derive a strategy. Okay, we are going to do it together. Every month or every quarter or every listen, we will put money and send this amount, this percentage of amount to do that investment. Have things documented. Documentation is very important. So you document to make sure that everybody understands. In case of emergency, in case of unfortunate things happen all the time, what are you going to do with the property? You have children. Is it ideal to put the property in the children's names? Thank you, Simple. Is it ideal to put the document of the property in the children's names, or it's ideal to put it in both of your names? So who knows, if none of you are there, family can come and fight over it with the kids. How about that? So you have to communicate, you have to come up with suggestions, you have to ask yourselves, what are you going to do with this project? How are you going to do it? What name is going to be put on it? Is it ideal to put the children's name on it versus our name on it? That way, you don't have a need to change it in the future. You have it there also. The children also, hopefully in the future, they know they don't have to come and fight over it. Exactly. Thank you so much for that contribution. Exactly. I will put my kid's name on it. I'm here right now. If I have any projects, which are, I put my kid's name on it. Because if I'm not there, it's two of them. Both of their name is on it. They have to deal with it. No family is going to come. Land title, always make sure you have land title done. The kid's name is there. If you are not there, no family can come in. So remember, financial abuse cuts across. It's not just, it's in every relationship. You and your friend. You and your children. Yes, you and your children. Children may finish college, are in a living home with the family, and their paycheck, their parents will constantly be requesting it to pay bills. There should be an agreement, a communication. If you want your kids to pay some percentage of the bills, it should be communicated. If they are working from home, some of these kids in abroad, they finish college, they're getting 6-figure jobs. Think about it. Okay, I know I'm paying the mortgage already, me and your dad, but we want to hold you accountable. Save your money up so when you leave home, you can buy your own house, or at least every month pay this utility bill and contribute to groceries or something. But don't just let the child work, and then in Africa, some kids go through that, and the kids can't talk because, it's our parents, so we have to be quiet, whatever they say. No, that is a form of an abuse, a form of financial abuse. With all these kinds of abuse, my main focus is the preparation ground, the very early on when you getting to know somebody. Things I know today, I didn't know then. I got married at the age of 24. The marriage was a scam, which one day I'll talk about it. You understand? I did not have an idea about what abroad is, what America is, what UK is, because I was from a very humble, I am from a very humble background. I don't have friends talking about abroad. Like today, a lot of people want to come to abroad. A lot of my friends want me to bring them abroad. But the issue is, then I didn't even have friends that will introduce me to all these concepts. Then I ended up being scammed at the expense of my own visa lottery. And I came to the United States. So I don't know a lot of things. I was very naive. When I came, my first paycheck, I opened an account, put my ex-husband's name on it. Every paycheck, like I said, either they take the money out, like a lot. Meanwhile, he has a bank account that my name is not on it. Eventually, as I became more aware and more informed, I opened a different account and closed that up. But that also starts your abuse. You see how it goes. Now, we have a system. Everybody have a share of responsibilities financially. We never had a bank account together. But as a good wife, or however you want to term it, at some point, I had to tell my ex-husband, I said, I don't know what is going on, but you always say you are going to work, and you never come. And yet you are unable to pay your bills. If I say his bills, You will say, we are married. Why am I not saying our bills? Because I bought a car for him, but he's responsible for the car note. I pay car down payment for him, but he has to pay the car note. Guess what? That car note is beginning to fall behind. Yet the person said they are going to work. So I asked and asked and asked. And as a wife that I was, that liked to help, just not my husband, but everybody else, I was like, I will open an account in my name. Every paycheck of yours, put $100 in it. And I will be in charge of that money to clear up the bills on your behalf that are piling up. Even credit card become something that is piling up. For whatever reason, I don't know. Later on, I find out that credit card is doing what? Is buying gift cards to go and give to a side chick. You see the thing? So how much do you know your partner? How much do you think you are willing to contribute? What have you agreed on? What decisions have you made to that effect? Credit cards are being used to buy gift cards. Credit card money is not your money, but it's being used to buy gift cards for other women. I opened a bank account. I suggested to him, put money in it. Every paycheck, put $100 in it. I will use it to help you clear these bills. And this is how it got bad. It got wet. Like, this is the issue with that. This bank account is in my name. He is putting $100 in it so that he will use it to pay, so that I will use it to clear up those bills for him. Hi, Glenwan. Hi, Rachel. Guess what happened with that? That bank account that I opened to help him became a bank account that was used to judge me in the court of law. You know why? During the divorce, now I said we never had bank account together. He is able to prove that we have bank account together. You know why? I know we never had bank account together. I know the account I opened was strictly to help him clear out the bills he was piling up by cheating on me. When he said he's going to work, he's gone to a side chick. When he's on his way, he used our credit card to buy gifts for that side chick. I end up paying for all of that. How well do you know your partner? How well do you want to communicate about finances? How much are you willing to have bank account together, joint account or separate account? How much are you willing to help your partner get him out of debt? How much are you willing? How much communication is going on regarding finances? How much we spend? What are we spending on? Do you know the bank account? Do you know what goes out of it? Do you know what comes out of it? If you are watching me, my name is Mamle Yuko Godwin, and thank you for joining this feed. I want to appreciate you at this minute. I want to encourage you to join my membership if you don't mind. If you can cancel it at any time. I'm a psych nurse practitioner by profession. I am a single mother of 2 boys, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence and parental alienation. That is the genesis of all this, okay? So this bank account became something that was used to judge me. Why? Because he used his bank account, his work employment pay stubs, and say, hey, I have bank account with her. This is my proof. I put money in it every month. If you watch my videos, you know that something about discovery. I missed discovery, and that means they prevented, when I got the sanctions against me, I couldn't give evidence of any of these things. So even though I had a bank account, So even though I have the bank statement to prove that this is where the money came from into the bank account, this is where the money came from the bank account too, because every money that came out of the bank account proved that it went towards Tisha Akira to pay for his car note. Every money that came out of the account went to pay for JCPenney credit cards under his name, because the JCPenney card is now in my name, so you will see it specifically stated there where the money came from the account too. That will verify that I have not used a dime of his money. But when I got the discovery sanctions, I was prevented from proving myself. So even though I have this document, so today I'm talking to you for the sake of my kids, I have those bank documents, because they will probably in the future want to review some of the court records and compare it, which they have started doing some of this, and they get wild. So the documents from his work proved that he put money in this account that had my name on it. The bank account proves that the money in the bank account that came out went towards this car note, Acura car note, went towards JCPenney credit card, went towards Best Buy credit card. Was I given the opportunity, the benefit of the doubt to present this fact? No, because I missed discovery deadline, and that is my opportunity that I could have proven myself in details. That wasn't done. So when you're having bank accounts in your name and your spouse is putting money in it, make sure you are communicating just for everybody's safety. Unfortunately, this is not how life should be. Unfortunately, we have to pay attention, because the marriage we were taught to have is not what exists today. So I'm not teaching you to go and leave your marriage. I'm not teaching you to go and say, I don't want to have bank account together with my husband. I'm not teaching you to say it is wrong to have shared account or to support your spouse. No, but I'm telling you that as you are doing that, also be mindful. Be mindful. I want to tell you other examples. I know at least 5 women that have not only lost their marriages, they themselves have lost their credits. They have criminal records put on them. They can't even drive, because based on the extent of the issue, you can lose your whole thing. You can have a restriction on your passports. You can travel. And I'm coming into that. How well do you know the person you are dating? How well do you know that person you are married to? The person come home, brings you fat paychecks, write you checks, check. You know that partner you have don't have a job that warrants her or him giving you that level or that huge amount of paycheck. But you are comfortable with it. You took it. You went shopping. You spread your friends. Have you questioned where the money is coming from? I know not just one woman. Like I said, I've heard it, but I know at least 5 women that two husbands were deported because they were engaging in fraudulent issues. They uses their wife's credit. You are there. Your husband uses your credit card. Your husband is using your credit to buy ordering for stuff. You don't know. Are you for real? You have to be very, very careful. Yes, no, not everything. Not everything. Because you know what? These women, two of them, like I said, their husbands were deported. And you know what happened? Not only are they left behind with children, they have lost their homes. You know how much financial, I was telling you my experience after divorce and separation, almost 11 years, I'm still enduring financial abuse, which I know for a fact is coming to an end this year by all means, by God's grace. But you see how much you can still get abused after divorce. That is why it's important to pay attention of these things during the dating period, during the marriage, like early on. Communicate. You have a house that you are living in, and you pay like the house is worth $10,000 a month for mortgage. Your husband comes home, gives you Louis Vuitton, this, that. And yet your husband is not a rocket scientist. It's not an engineer. You take it, you enjoy it, you share it, flashing with your friends, social media, you're giving people pressure and depression, young girls. Of course, me, nobody can give me that at this my age. I have women that have lost homes, husbands to financial abuse. Not only is the men deported, but the men also use their credit and mess it up. They use your credit card, they order things, they know your social security card, your number, they know your date of birth. When I left my marriage, my ex-husband will order things in my name, my date of birth, my social, he knows it. When I go to court, every time I file papers in court, I document it. Even though the court didn't grant it, it was something I learned from my abuse. When I was being abused, and I would be told, if you report, who will take care of you? If you report, why? Let's see what will happen to you. If you report, after all, it's only that they will deport me and you will be left there with the kids. Who will take care of you and the kids? If you report, how would you finish your school? If you report, and even the school I'm going, I'm always withdrawing because there is abuse, there is no peace of mind at home. Think about it. And they put all these things in your head, so you are scared of talking. But I learned the hard way that when I wasn't reporting, when you're reporting as a victim, as somebody enduring abuse, it's not because you hate your spouse, it's not because you want them to be arrested and jailed, but it's for the paper trail, documentation to protect yourself. And that is what I learned after the divorce. When I saw that my social letters will be received, you go to the public record, people are receiving letters and signing my name for it. People are receiving documentations, letters regarding the family property that is going in foreclosure that he wanted so bad and all that. They are receiving documents from banks with my name on it, and they are signing them. They are signing my name, but it's not me who is signing these things. You understand? So what I learned the hard way is that documentation. Every time I realize somebody is taking signing a paper in my name, applying for Comcast services in my name, when I'm filing papers in the court, I filed it that I'm requesting that he is made to stop using my identity for stuff. Stop using my identity for services. Even though the system didn't grant, guess what? He know I'm making somebody aware of it. He know it's on record. So if I report to credit bureaus that I'm not responsible for this, I have filed in the court, it comes to protect me. And that is why paper trails are important. You're not reporting that your abuser should be harmed, but you are reporting as a protective shield for yourself. So think about it with these women I'm describing. These are professionals. These are women that are educated. These are women that have worked so much to secure good credit record, good employment record. And some of them have sanctions on their driver's license and their passport. They can't travel, they can't drive. And their husbands have been deported. How well do you know your spouse? And how much do you trust him or her when it comes to finances? You are dating somebody. You are going to marry somebody. I can choose to marry or not, right? I'm not desperate to be married. It will be nice to find somebody who we share same beliefs, same we are compatible. Great, right? But I have turned down a lot of requests also. The slightest gist of something I know I can deal with, I have to put a hold on it. So I have my peace. You try to talk to somebody, you want to find out about, their credits. If they, through conversation, just find out even if they understand the concept of using credit. Like my kids recently, they go and use my credit card and stuff. I have to counsel them. I have to take them through the process and educating them that credit cards are not your money. Before you ever use credit card, you actually have the money down. You use the credit card only so you can build up your credit, because even if you're a billionaire, without a good credit, you won't acquire anything in the West, at least in America, I know. So what you do is conversations. Just try and put some conversation out there, find out, how are these credit cards? Strike a conversation regarding credit card usage. And be like, I like using my credit card because, at least it gives you that peace of mind for right now. You don't have to worry about paying. Bring out a conversation like that. Find out the person's perception about usage of credit card. Does the person understand that this is somebody's money? And when you use it, you have to pay. You use it, you pay it 100%. Else, you're going to pay huge amounts in interest. And ask, yeah, it's convenient, I use it, but what I hate about it is the credit card, the interest they put on it is so much. And see what they think. And be like, do you use credit card? Like, do you usually use them a lot or something? Strike a conversation around it. Based on the person's response, you are going to know. Right now, my credit card is so messed up. I'm just trying to fix it right now. I don't even know. See about them. Find with that, one thing about disclosure, self-disclosure triggers self-disclosure. When you disclose something about you, it makes that person comfortable to also disclose something about them. Remember this key concept. Self-disclosure triggers self-disclosure. So as you are communicating about these issues, the person who also becomes comfortable, open up to that conversation. I personally don't like dealing with people who don't like to talk. You know why? I can assess people a lot when they are talking. So if I'm dealing with somebody and they don't talk and they are closed up, it takes me a longer time. It alarms me that, okay, you need to go slowly. You need to take your time to get to know this person. You don't have to rush. You have to be quiet too. Wait till he's or she is ready to talk. When they talk, you respond to it. And then let that ice be broken. So you get to dip in and get to wet your feet, get into the mud and get to know the person. Don't just get up. Hi, Afro. Don't just get up and think like, hey, I want to be here and this and that's it. I'm desperate. I want to be married. So, hey, anything goes and that's it. No. Yes. You dip in it, get your feet wet. If they are closed up and they are not communicating, take a back seat and find out. Wait on them. Wait till they are ready. Let them come in. Let them want to talk. When they break the ice, then you go right in, deep in. When you want to, I don't know, but I think this is for my age group, I guess. At this point, you are not trying to date with just your emotions. You are dating with your brain. You know what you want. Unfortunately, when we were then, we don't know what we want. You just dealing with the butterfly emotions. Think about it. I always talk to women. I said, when love becomes expensive, you don't need to be there. People say that we go into relationships with expectations. Hell yeah. What is not there in our life with a condition? God said, this is the way, the truth, and the light. If you follow the right path, you get to have everlasting life. Is that not a condition? God gave us conditions to live by from the get-go. So why are you going to date somebody and friends, family, colleagues, women are coaching fellow women to say that we are going to relationship with expectations? I have children. I'm a single mother. If I'm coming to, and I am educated and I have a certain category of income, whilst it's okay to go for somebody that don't meet that cap that you are probably in, how well do you trust that that person is going to come? I hear this a lot. Age is a number. The first question I ask those people is, since when did a person your age who lives in Africa, think about it, a person your age lives in Africa, never have a child, probably never had a college education and a concrete income, want a woman who is a single mother, who is going to be your burden? Do you think that if I live in Ghana, I don't have a job, and I have 2 children, you will accept me as such? Think about it. We just have to apply common sense. But you go to social media and you have a lot of women posting about being scammed because of love, being told, I love you, I want to marry you, and he took my money. Guess what? When love becomes expensive, it is not love. When you have with somebody in international relationship, the person tells you they love you, they want to marry you, you are a woman. Unfortunately, I'm talking a lot about the women because we are the most at risk based on research. And then every minute, oh, I have to take this class, or oh, I don't feel well, or oh, my mom is sick, or oh, listen very carefully. When love becomes expensive, it is not love. What I tell young guys is, wherever you live under the sun does not erode the fact that you are a man. It doesn't erode the fact that you asked me to love you. You asked me to date you. You asked me to be with you. I can provide support at my own expense, at my own will if I want to. But I cannot. A woman in the West, a woman shouldn't be so desperate for love to the point where she has to buy love. There is nothing wrong with somebody that you love, you understand each other, and you even support them to buy their your bride price things if you are willing to do that. Me, no. If you want me, you're ready for me. When it comes to bride price, I and me and myself, my dime won't pay for my bride price. I'm not marrying myself. How much are you willing to accommodate, tolerate, eliminate, add, and subtract? How much are you willing to take? Is the question. You understand? So when it comes to financial abuse, it comes in so many categories. But the issue with it and why people don't talk about it is the fact that cultural reasons are in play. The fact that social and you have always shown that you are this, you are that, and all of a sudden you are complaining, and now the people, your friends that you've been showing up to and trying to present to that you were the most loved on under the sun, all of a sudden you have to explain yourself to them. So you become now I can't share. I don't know the English name for my non-Ghanaian people. So you have to now be quiet, be die inside, be hidden away. How much are you willing to take? How much are you willing to open up about it? And who are you willing to communicate it with? When you have pain, when you go into trauma, recently we just saw the issue with Barbara Tommy, who was shot by the pastor husband. Exactly. I just don't see the sense of having a relationship without expectation. Exactly. You just have to have expectations. God gave us expectations to be eligible for eternal life. So how would you go into a relationship not expecting anything? Honestly, somebody has to explain that to me. You are going to a relationship expecting that you are cherished, expecting that you are loved, you are respected, you are appreciated. You are going to a relationship expecting, the man he coming is expecting with their ego, as we all know, that hey, you must. I had a guy told me, my wife must cook. I said, my husband must pay all the bills. There is nothing wrong with me helping my husband with paying bills. I was just explaining to you guys where he brought the money for his bills that he piled because he lies he was going to work. He goes to work. He never was at work. He was going to see a psychic at my expense. And for years after the marriage, I had to leave. Just last year, like I said, in that instance, the court ordered me to pay him $16,000. Financial abuse can last a lifetime if you don't. That is why I'm raising these awarenesses. I'm not here to tell you to go and hate your husband, start fighting. No, I'm telling you that these are realities. Stop following the social media posts. Listen, I have gotten to the point in life where I'm very comfortable with myself that I can show up on social media looking like I'm looking today. I can show up on social media looking like I'm just out of bed. You have to be acceptance of who you are. It took me years to get here because I lost this level of confidence through my abuse. Psychological abuse is what we will talk about in our next live feed if I get a chance. Psychological abuse falls, emotional and verbal abuse falls under psychological abuse. It can destroy you, and that comes with financial abuse. You go and you need money to do your hair, you need your underwear, you ask money. Like seriously, women, we have to try and gain independence. Then you ask your spouse for money and they go like, everything you want to ask, look at your body, you can't even take care of yourself, and they start insulting you. Let me tell you similar example. Let me tell you typical example, my own experience. This is a man I was dating at the age of, I was out of high school, 19, he was 20. And years after marriage, after he talked me into marrying him, after I told him, I don't think your family treats me well, so let's hold off on the marriage. Let me get to the United States, and if it's God's will, we should marry. We will all go back to Ghana and get married. I didn't know he was here without documentation. I didn't know that he has so much limitations that prevents him from even coming back home. You see how you can be scammed. And I came here and guys, it's so much, but what I sometimes it's so much. And you know, this person tells me that I was starving on the streets. And when he met me, from the day he met me, he was feeding me up until this period. Then when we were married. What? Because when we were dating as children, 19 years and 20 years, when I pass by his place, he can take money from his mother to buy wache. I know the Ghanaians here understand. A fabulous, Afrocentric, to buy wache like rice and beans that is being sold at the roadside. And we ate together. It was something that was used to abuse me later, years down the line. That he picked me from my mother, who is a teacher, a trained teacher, a professional. Basically, he's telling me my parents left me on the streets, and he picked me off the streets. Financial abuse. You see what I'm saying? So it can root down from so much and so from so far away that we have to be vigilant. We have to pay attention. You understand? So we have to have expectations. You have to look at yourself. Are you just looking for somebody to make you miss it so bad? Men too. We have a lot of young guys in Africa that are desperately looking to travel. They will fall in love with anybody. Not because they truly love them, but so that they can come here. That goes two ways. One, that boy can come to the US or abroad and get abused by that woman. I know of an instance where the guy got here, the woman never worked, and every little income that guy came with. And of course, he just came. So he's not going to come and become a nurse or a doctor or anything right away. He's going to start from somewhere. So you imagine making $10, $12 an hour. And you have to pay all the bills related to the house. And you end up having two jobs because you got to know that surviving in the States means you have two jobs. You have to keep two jobs. You don't sleep, and you have to be responsible for this woman and her children and all their entire bills. That is a form of financial abuse that a man can also endure. I know of instances where a man went crazy, became an alcoholic over here in New York. The woman got to the US, and I made arrangements after all the money the man spent to go and marry her, the ticket, the processing of papers, everything. She arranged with her other boyfriend to pick her up at the airport, and boom, he left. She left, and that man became psychotic about it. So you see, if that guy were to find somebody, his age mate, they all love each other, they all agree on things, okay, maybe you should advance yourself, maybe you should do this, maybe you should work one job and go to school or do something, versus the way it went. Then you have the other instance to where the man who this woman thought, oh, let me help him help me, becomes the biggest abuser ever. I have instances where soon as the man get that green card, he's gone. You understand? We definitely. Oh, no problem. Sure, no problem. You understand? So financial abuse comes in many, many forms, and we need to be very cognizant about it. We need to be aware about it. We need to Be informed about it. You understand? The person you are dating or you are married with, how confident do you trust them with your credit, with your bank account, with your things? You understand? Some of the ways that you can be expecting that somebody can abuse you is credit card, which I was talking about it, running your credit history and running up limits. Like, have you set limits on your credit cards that they cannot be used exceeding certain amount, that they cannot be accessed by just anybody? Do you set alerts that whenever somebody use your credit card beyond certain limits, you should be notified by text message? In the US, sometimes you go and get credit card, they ask you, do you have somebody, a spouse, somebody you want to add on the credit card? Me, even if I'm married today, no. You know why? I know that I don't trust the man. I just feel comfortable with it that way. Now, do you have to wait till you get married to that person because you are so interested in that marriage before you make this known? No. This is where you talk about it in the dating phase, in not even dating phase, and you are all into the person phase. In getting to know the person phase, that is when you talk about it. Exactly. When you want to talk about money, your credit card, your finances, you don't talk about it when you are lovey-dovey. You talk about it when you're getting to know the person. You understand? I have somebody that told me right up front, as for him, he's not comfortable with being with me and we have separate accounts. Great. That's fine. Because you know that your income is not big enough, or because me, the woman, I know my income is not big enough. We have some women that will not want, that want the man to have them in every affairs until they become high earners. I have some women that have let's say they are working cleaner's job. So they are okay with their husbands putting them on their bank accounts. Soon as the man help them, they finish school, they become here, then they want everybody to keep their bank account separate. I was told of an instance where the woman wanted everybody's account separate until the man finished school and started earning here. Then now she want the account together. This is a big problem. You have to talk about these things from the get-go. You have to talk about these things from the get-go. You can be controlled by your abuser through your education. The person will not want you to supersede them. I have most men that feels more comfortable when they are aged, they are older than you. Afrocentric, you are laughing. I have some men that are not comfortable with a woman that earns more than them. That is okay. What you, the woman, need to know is it is better the man makes you aware that he's not comfortable with your level of income. He's not comfortable with your level of education. Don't take it as a bad thing. Take it as your savior. I have had a guy told me 2016 or something. Well, that is why I stopped dating. Because you know what? You're not going to waste my time. I would talk about these things very early on. The very first exposure, look at me. If anybody that know me, I'm very simple. But maybe if I tell you that amount of this shirt that is simple, you will be like, hey, I'm a very simple, but, professional kind of look. So for somebody to look at me and tell me that they are not my class, no, don't look at it as an insult. Whilst you, the woman, a man is telling you are not his class and you are looking at it as an insult, it's not. He lacks confidence. He lacks self-esteem. These are the reasons why we have to teach our children, our male kids, self-esteem, self-confidence. You struggle to teach them to understand that what gives you your self-esteem, self-confidence is achievements, doing what you like, being excelling in the things you do, so you don't feel intimidated. You understand? It is a struggle to be an educated person and be dating somebody that is not educated. Trust me, that is so much draining, if you ask me. You have to be answering questions for the rest of your life. Unless the person is also mentally matured and is willing to come up. Seriously. You understand? It is a lot when it comes to abuse, financial abuse. We seem to not talk about financial abuse. We want to talk about, once they say abuse, oh, physical. Listen, I've been hit by a car twice. What do you endure from physical abuse? Pain, scar, that's it. Financial abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse is a scar that roots down deep. That takes forever to overcome. What would you make out of living a marriage for 10 years and still paying for that person to be comfortable, to live a luxury life? Last year, I took a credit card loan, $10,000 to pay this person. Money I didn't owe him. My kids live with me. Never did human being say, what are my kids eating? I'm still paying child support unless I'm not going to work. I stayed home for an injury, wasn't working. Because of that, the default, taxes were taken. He got it. And this same person will come and stand in court and defend his stand. And if you are not lucky, the system will buy into lies. Narcissism. They play the victim role. Financial abuse, it's rooted deep. It's hard to uproot. And that is why I raise these awarenesses. It's not because I'm bitter. Anybody that knows me will tell you the only thing that stresses me or makes me go gaga is about my children. Other than that, no. And when you have kids that have been through abuse, that have endured all these issues, have been exposed to all these issues, and now you have to take care of it, it's a lot of, so you have to you have to talk about these things so other people get to learn. So when people come to my channel and bring out negativity, my channel is negativity. No, I don't see it as a negative. It has, the energy may be different from what you are used to. But the fact of the matter is, it will save somebody's life. Before anybody can get to my state and start talking about these things, they have reached what we call post-traumatic growth. When I was being abused, I wasn't talking about it. When I was being depressed about the things I was enduring it and how much injustice I have faced, I wasn't talking about it. But when I grew out of it, when I started learning, when I started, education started opening my eyes, and I started seeing myself as a psych nurse practitioner or as a psychiatric nurse, start seeing myself in the things I read, in the research I do, you get to realize. And I have professors who are doctors. Some of them have double doctorate degrees. That talks about having PTSD. That talks about their struggle with depression. That talks about, but these are things that if somebody like me talk about it, African, Wahai, it's a taboo, it's a crime. And that is why we are dying. I can swear on it with my whole life that if not, maybe 95% of that, I am the only African that ever brought the word parental alienation to the public, because nobody talks about it, but we are enduring that a lot. We are. A lot of children are exposed to that. I want to introduce you to a concept. I wish I was outside. I want a plant to introduce you to a concept. Why coming to my channel shouldn't be viewed as a negative energy channel, but sit back and listen to whatever I'm saying and take something home with it, or share it to somebody that needs it. Pruning. We have something called pruning in agriculture. If you come to medicine, we have something called synaptic pruning. Pruning in agriculture is whereby you have a plant, the plant blossoms in the spring, summer, fall, with the different seasons. Some of the leaves get dried up and somebody goes and prune it out and leave the plant looking beautiful. And prune means cutting, getting rid of the dry leaves that they don't need out. That is a process that children's brain revolves with as they are growing. Pruning peaks at the age of 6 and 7 years old. Pruning starts at the point where the child is giving birth to. Pruning is a process where the brain cells is growing, is picking up things. The child, you know what, something. Oyibo man have a 2-year-old. That 2-year-old already can swim. That 2-year-old goes to a daycare center whereby there are other children there, are learning skills, social skills, are learning cognitive skills, are learning other developmental skills. But you also have me and you, whereby we have to send that money to our grandmother by all means in Africa. We have to send that money by all means to pay our niece's school fees. We have to send that money by hook or crook to pay somebody's coffin. And guess what happens? Thank you, thank you, Grandma. And listen, so you don't take that child to a daycare where that child will start using this brain, this development cells in the brain, the synaptic cells, right? That child is taken to the grandmother that is here visiting her children. That's supposed to be supporting them, but because again, financial greed, I don't know how to term that, financial interest, greediness. So they don't even want to take care of their own grandchildren. No. They will now want to have a job. And you, the African woman like myself, we bring our children to this person, old woman, who will not teach any social skill to the child, who would not teach any cognitive skill to the child. When that 2-year-old of the Oyibo family is already in soccer game at 2 years old, is already in the swimming class, is already in some kind of class, in a dance class, is already like in different activities, developing gracefully. Synapsis happens. Pruning happens when that child, just like the plant is there and you go and take away the leaves that you don't need because they have dried out, that child gets to the age where these cells, the Caucasian family child, right? All the cells are being used. The brain, the brain cells are being used. So when the child gets to that age group, 13, 12, 14, the sex age, right? That child already is occupied. The brain cell is occupied, is nourished, and is ready to make use of these skills. So he does not have room to be ideal and be in non-industrial activities. So the cells are busy and yearning and thirsty for more of the things that they were developed with to continue building on. Here lies the case, you and I, our child that went to grandma that feed them the jollof rice and the cake and the ogbolo soup and the pounded fufu, pounded yam. That child learned how to play games very well because that child is idle, is bored. He has to be doing unnecessary, useless stuff. When that child gets to this group, this age, unlike this child that is have this brain cell that are still growing and blossoming, the synaptic cells now only are limited in you and I's child. That brain don't have room for to study, don't have desire to study. He only have desire to play games. That child only have desire to, to do things that are not productive. If I don't know if I'm making sense, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Yes, the ogbono soup, that's the best one now. The ogbono soup is the best one. Now, scientifically, the cells that are not being used has to be gotten rid of. So guess what? Pruning does take place in humans. It takes place, me and you right now, we don't have it going on much, but it takes place, it peaks at the age of 5, 6, and 7. That is why we have to ground our children. Whilst you are fighting over abuse, finances, all those things, would you rather stay there and worry about having to deal with your child, the brain cells being pruned away because it has been wasted and it was not made use of? Or you want to advocate for yourself, take that child's need first and say, enough to the abuse. Let me take this child and let's go and seek safety. Let me not worry about sitting here and being abused to the point where I lack my self-confidence because somebody has to feed me. Somebody has to buy me clothes. Somebody has to pay my bills. My sister, are you willing to go through that? Are you willing to put your kids through that? I'll talk about attachment disorder soon. I keep on saying the topics are plenty, but I have so much going on with myself that don't let me come out enough like I would like to. But YouTube is a long-term thing. YouTube is there, life is there. We have to set our priorities. So the right time will come, I'll bring you value, but I'm still trying. You understand? So this is very important. I remember very well where I would take my child to go and sign my child up for class. I paid for it too. The money will be wasted. Financial abuse comes in different forms because there is a condition to when the timeline, you will lose the money. If you pay the money, you lose it because they are in a business. So you sign contracts. And then you take your child, and because I work in the afternoon, somebody have to take the kids. I take the child, the other person works day shift, come home, has to go and bring the child home and stay with the child because he would rather go to the spa, the other person mistress. He would tell you, oh, this is all distressful. You are disturbing the child. You are destroying the child. Let the child be a child. My dear, the period you need to invest in your children's life is that early. So like 3rd grade. Before any child that has great parents, don't judge me on this, parents, Don't come and say some of you are not great parents. Don't no, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm trying to encourage you to understand that if you are listening to me today and you have a child that is under 5 years old, my kids have lost a lot through child custody and divorce. And I don't want your children to go through that. I don't. The concept I just introduced to you right now, go and Google it. Go to YouTube. Search for pruning, brain pruning, brain cell pruning. If you understand the concept of pruning in agriculture, compare the two and change your mindset about how you develop your children. Because the things I know today, if somebody told me, or not that if somebody told me, naturally I knew I was always yearning towards education and all that, and good quality foundation for my kids and all that. But unfortunately, with divorce and the kind of situation I went into, I didn't have much control over it. But if you are watching me right now and you have a child that is under 5 and you are scared of paying child care, my sister, my brother, pay for a professional child care. Don't send that child to an African if you can avoid doing that. We have socioeconomic situation. I get it. I get it. If you can afford is the word. If what you can afford, I'm not saying go and start crying and forcing your husband to do anything. No. But I said, if you can afford, if you can afford to start teaching your children value, quality versus quantity, what you structure them with. My kids are 14 and soon to be 12. And the things I deal with because of parental alienation, custody, divorce, and now they've been with me for 1.5 years. Usually, me, I finished school since May. I'm still trying to study to take my board exams. I would say this past 2 weeks, and especially this week, I have more tried to and especially maybe yesterday, today, I have been very decisive on what I want to do. It hasn't been easy. The things I'm telling you now, these are not things I don't know myself to do. But my situation stripped my children of it. You have a child that wouldn't want to pick a book, that wouldn't want to read, that wouldn't want to study, but craves to have computer. If you are listening to me right now, listen to this very carefully and go. I know we are talking about financial abuse, but financial abuse can affect your children's education. They can affect, like, your husband will want to go and buy shirts. I was describing it to you guys. Your husband will want to use credit card to buy gift card for a wife, a side chick, but hates to just spend his time to drive to take a child, pick up a child from a professional childcare center for the child to get that right exposure at the very get-go, very early on in their developmental stage. And your money that you invested into these things got wasted. I remember being in nursing school. I invested in my kids' foundation. I even had a point, took my kids to a school. If anybody can look up this school, Seaside International in Pram Pram, Ghana. I paid thousands of dollars a month. Thousands of dollars. That is how much extent I will go to invest quality. I have family in Ghana. I didn't do that. I didn't take them to family. I took them to structured environment. By 3 years, my little son at the time could speak the best English than me sitting here. He used the best terms, all the tenses, like he spoke excellent English. This same father said that I took my children to my boyfriend. I can rant on and on and on about myself, but I don't want it to be like that. Otherwise, it will make sense. It will be boring. But I'm telling you that financial abuse, this stage is crucial for long-term brain development. Absolutely. Reason why we have so much toxic people these days is because they were not allowed to develop well. Absolutely. 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 So they grow up with their own pain. They grow up with their own crisis. They grow up with their own issues. And then after you struggle to invest quality in your child's life, your child is going to be the wife, the husband to that person. And at the end, their demons becomes a risk for your child that you did not raise exposing to such issues. That is why early identification is important. I've come a long way with my kids, emotionally, psychologically, and we are still growing. So with prayers, we are going to get to a point, like, how do I put it? Like the utmost, like the place they need to be, the ultimate state where they need to be, where they will be functional to themselves and other people. You understand? Think about it. So it's important that you talk about financial abuse. It's important that I come and tell you my issue. Let me tell you an instance. I told somebody about what I'm going through. And of course, it's here. Now I'm here talking to you, so I don't care. But what I found offensive about the instance I'm coming to tell you about is that whilst I tell you about my business, how do you handle that information I gave to you or I shared with you? This is the reason why people are dying in abuse. This is the reason why people are not talking about it. The you that is listening to the victim, what are you doing with that information you are receiving? Are you just listening to it and becoming judgmental? Are you just listening to it and then spreading rumors? Oh, pick a phone. Hey, do you know what happened? Oh, yeah, I see this person, and start talking about it. The information they shared with you. Is that what it is? Or you are listening to it, and even though you cannot put yourself, you don't know what to say, you just listen and be like, just listening is enough. Okay, when somebody in distress, somebody who is a victim of abuse is sharing their pain with you, if you have nothing good to say, just be sorry, just be quiet and listen and let them vent. And after venting, just say, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that happened to you. Let me know what I can do to make it better. But I went somewhere, and this was church. And in the convention, a stranger I don't know came to me and was like, oh, you must be Karen. You must be such and such friend. Oh, so how are things now? So how is the court? So, hey, Africans. You see why people are quiet? And since then, I never felt fine within me and that person, because I didn't expect her to go and describe me and my in and out to a stranger I didn't know. You understand? I did not expect her to go and describe me and whatever my situation was to a stranger I didn't know. And this stranger just came and straight away, oh, you must be Karen. And they started telling me, oh, and how is the court? And Oh, you must be this person's friend. How we treat the information victims who are our friends, who are our family, come to share with us is very, very important. The person came and tell you, let me tell you something. My ex-husband, right? It got to a point in my marriage where I don't have access to my mailbox key. A house I paid closing cost on. I don't have access to my mailbox key. I cannot buy anything from, I used to buy jewelry from QVC. When I'm watching the TV show, if it comes on and I like something, I'll order it. I cannot purchase anything that belongs to, that I wanted from my own toil without being judged, without being talked down upon, without being insulted. You are buying all this trash. Why are you buying all this trash? You ordering more trash. Every time he comes home, he see a shopping bag or something. Whenever you shop, you brought more trash to the house. I told you not to bring any more trash to the house. These are all forms of abuse. The very conversations that we don't take serious, when they keep repeating itself, when it keep happening. It's different if it happens once, you joke about it. But when it's constantly happening, it becomes a big issue. Financial abuse comes in forms. I was just telling you one. You can't shop freely. You can buy whatever you want freely. Your bank account, you have to account for everything that goes in and comes out. Your paycheck, you have to always account for it. When do you start having these conversations? When do you start talking about it? You understand? When do you do that? Financial abuse after my marriage, another example. If anybody know Huntington Learning Center, just try and contact Huntington Learning Center. If you know Kumon Academy, contact them and find out how much they cost to enroll your children in them. Financial abuse. I lost so much money to just even trying to invest into my children's education. The person makes sure the kids don't go to the class. The person makes sure you get to miss a deadline where they will refund you the money. The person makes sure, even this is children that you had with him, not children from other people. Financial abuse is very crucial. It's crucial than physical abuse. Financial abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, these are nothing you will see. These are not scars that you will see on your face, on your body, that anybody will see them. But because of judgmental attitudes in our societies, because of stigma, because of gossips, because of cultural, because you go and tell your church mother or your elder in the church or your pastor in the church, and they are like, but that's your husband. Why would you talk about financial abuse? What belongs to you belongs to him. What belongs to him belongs to you. Without sitting down to find out where counseling is desired and render it to you. My suggestion to you is, if you want to marry, seek for a marriage counselor, professional marriage counselor. We have family counselors. We have professionals that are not religious leaders. And we have some that are professionally marriage counselors and are also leaders in the churches. Do not go to a pastor who is not credentialed as a marriage counselor. The marriage counselor is expert, has received an accreditation, has received a higher education and has been accredited, went through a certification process. This person will talk to you about finances, about what you're looking to get into, what you will talk about you. Even there will be a session if you want, they can talk about you individually and then together and guide you through this stage, vital stage in your life. Many times your mother won't tell you. Many times your father won't tell you. Remember, our mothers, especially African mothers, they just want their kids to be married. So they will say, oh, my daughter is married. My daughter have a baby. When I was getting married, my mother wasn't worried much about who I was getting married to. My mother was only worried about the fact that I'm going to be married and I'm not going to be fornicating. Yes, my mother was only worried about the fact that I'm going to be married and I'm not going to be fornicating as a girl child at the age of 24. If I know what I knew today, I wouldn't even marry at the age of 24. But today, hey, you go and tell a 30-year-old to wait a little bit. You will see how they will snatch your head. Your mother will not tell you the things I'm telling you. Your father won't tell you. Your father is only looking, your mother is only looking, is the person rich? That person, is he driving a car? You understand? That your father, your mother is not looking into the things I'm telling you. He's just looking into the surface, how their colleagues will come and cheer her on. Now, oh, your daughter is marrying. That's it. My sister, my brother, don't just go to get married to somebody because they are rich, because they have a good education, because, like I said, set your priorities, know your desires, and know when to say yes and when to say, I'm very confident that saying yes right now will take me to where I want to be. Two things that I would tell you can break you or make you is one, your family. Two, marriage. If I'm not the kind of person I was raised to be, I would have been broken. I would have been like, I would have put a gun in my head because the abuse I have endured. Nobody knew. Like, who I am today is even shocking the devil himself. I'm not saying it to brag, but to the glory of God. That through all the abuse, I'm in court for 11 years and got 3 degrees. I'm in court for 11 years, whereby the court never listened to any truth in the case, but always favors lies. I'm in court, draining emotionally in court. And then I have to also psychologically, cognitively be able to study, find out about nursing, and let me know how easy it is to be a nurse. So I'm telling you right now to understand that abuse is not fun. Financial abuse, I know you got a computer, honey. See what I'm saying, guys? I still have to talk about people taking computers when they don't have to take computers. You know something? At some point like this, your kids should already know, oh, I'm getting the computer and this is what I want to do with it. I'm getting the computer, I want to go study with it. But when they have been nurtured to binge on games and you are now restructuring, it becomes a hassle. You understand? So I'm telling you, I don't want you to sit there. You see, I'm telling you my right now immediate struggle. So you don't think that you see your advocates, you see your professionals, you see people on social media and they have the most perfect life. No, I don't. I bring you awareness based on expertise level of knowledge and based on reality, myself experience as a victim and as a survivor of all the 9 years of abuse. You understand? So don't be looking at people and get depressed about your life. It's not perfect. It's not all that rosy like social media makes it seem. It's not. Financial abuse is very deep. It's unfortunate the note I wrote, I can't locate it because whilst I was taking my class, my son was trying the computer, used my computer, and I lost the document. I didn't save it. But you would have seen the levels I put down. But at least if you haven't heard anything at all, know that when love becomes expensive, you don't need to be there. When you are going to school and you have to be controlled and you have to be redirected to shift your focus away from your education, when in fact that is what will also boost your self-esteem and your confidence and be able to help you become independent and stand on your own, and you are being sabotaged. Abusers, they will sabotage you. When you have exams, that is when they bring more bigger crisis so that you fail that exams. Abusers, perpetrators, when you have exams coming up, because they know what you can do. Me, I will always drop from my classes. I will tell my ex-husband, can you, please pray for me, or let me pass this exam. Who should pray for you? When you get that, he tells me to my face. When you are with somebody who don't want to bring you up with your dreams, you have to start questioning what is his or her reason? What is the motive behind it? Exactly. They don't contribute to it. Exactly. You understand? That's the other thing that Grandma is talking about. You go and tell somebody about your business. The person take it and take it away and handle it how they want it. You are married to somebody. They don't contribute. Pencil, they won't buy it for you. Exercise book, they won't buy it for you. But they will do everything to sabotage you to make sure you fail that exams. To make sure you fail that school, you don't go. Excuse me. Guys, think about it very carefully. Credit is important. Listen to me. Your credit. What's going on? Hey, can you guys hear me? Evan. Oh, never mind. Something came up here. Sorry, guys. Something did happen to my video. You see, you are dating somebody. You are married to somebody. You don't know their credit information. Back in 2013 or sometime like that, somebody I know will talk about how they are going to get student loan and use it to buy car and use it. Then I know. Then I start observing. Then I start questioning. You're going to take student loan. Your work worried me. I don't like student loan because when I finish my school, I want to enjoy my money. So I hate student loan. So I will go to all the miles to get the resources and the holes I need to enter to get my tuition paid for me. I did all of that. Those are the things I did. But when somebody who is trying to get you to marry them is looking forward to take student loan to go and get a car and then ship to Ghana to his family, you have to think twice. If you marry to that person, all the time they will be doing things at your expense. I went through all this 2016 or 17. Somebody told me, somebody that tried to be with me, and I never, call me up, tell me, oh, I'm moving in with you. I asked the person, because we don't even, I asked the person, I said, oh, you want to rent one of my rooms? Because I 2015, I bought this house, I came in here, so I was like, I don't know, I think that time I rented one of my rooms. So I asked, do you want to rent one of my rooms? And he was like, why would I rent one of the rooms? Don't I have a place? I'm moving in with you so that we will build a life together. My brother, is this how you build a life together? You move into my house and build a life together. This is the same person that years ago, he said, we should have children. And I said, we went to school together. We should have children. Me and him. I said, oh, really? So that was when he started talking to me. He wanted me, he said, oh, when are you going to Ghana? At least if we have a child, is it not that we have to have a child, then we take the child to Ghana and we show it to your family that we are together and this is our child? Is that not the marriage? I said, oh, really? I didn't know that. You see, so when people are talking to you, pay attention and pick up clues. So this is the kind of conversation the person have. Somebody I went to school with when I was a single mother. I finished the school, did another degree, and now have became stable. And whilst they are not stable and they did not get any certificate, that is not even the reason. It's not that they didn't get any certificate or anything. And they now want to move in with me because they have started a school. This person started a school, and because of the level of intense nature of the program, he needs financial support. So if he move in with me and he's not paying rent and he's not paying bills, life will be easy for him. I'm not his wife. I'm not his wife. He's in school. He's now struggling after all these years that I knew him, that he hasn't proven that he's somebody of that much, like, I don't know. Basically, we are not compatible, put it simple that way. Now that he have financial need, and me as a single mother, I am becoming independent with no support from him. I paid my own bills. I paid child support. I did it all. I went to court alone with no support, no witness, when maybe he's even there and saw all the pain and all the facts that he could be a witness. But because he's now facing financial crisis, he deemed it appropriate to move in and stay in my home. And any woman, I don't want to start using unreasonable words here. I was going to say stupid. Any woman, hey, good evening, Christina. Any woman, some women, right, will be so, all of a sudden, he wants them. He's interested in them. And they'll be all fancy about it. No, this is financial abuse brewing, and you need to pay attention. This is a person that I know. Never always conversations was like opportunistic conversation. Have a child with you with no intention of marrying you, telling you, a grown woman that have been married before, that have been a single mother, that have been struggling on your own, attained your degrees on your own with no support from him, even knowing you as a friend from on the side, want to move in with you because he has started a program. If me, I did it, and you with no child can't do it, but want to move in my home. My sister, this conversation can be also vice versa. It can be vice versa. A lot of men will say, I send her to school. I want you, if you have the chance, Google registered nurses killed by their husbands in America and find out that statistics. A lot of Africans kill their wives because they have invested into them and felt that the women owe them that. Normally they should. But at what extent are you, an African man, turning that woman into a breadwinner? Naturally, our culture didn't teach us that every woman will want to have a man that is responsible, taking care of things. A woman like me will also want to be a supportive wife and make sure the home is standing. Make sure you are putting in your suggestions, your finances to support so everybody grow up, become great and glorious, right? And harmonious looking. But at what point is it not okay? You brought your wife from Nigeria because you came, or brought your wife from Ghana because you came and enjoyed the women as much as you can. Yes, that mentality needs to be changed. A man will come, will not educate. If education is great, why don't you educate yourself? But you will come and drive taxi. You will come and work in the warehouse. You will be chasing the African, I don't want anybody to come and attack me on my channel. So dating all these women all over for you. And then when you finish enjoying the most valued prime period of your life, you go to Nigeria, you go to Ghana, you go to where? To get an African young woman that you are 10, 20, 30 years older than. You bring them, you continue to work your 2, 3 warehouse jobs, your taxi driver job, which in fact, taxi driver job to some have money. But if that's what you want to do, why do you think that you bring this young girl you are older than, educate her heavily? When she I went to school with some that have little children, 2, 3, 4 children, and the husband is doing those jobs and pushing them through school. It's not a bad idea. But when they finish that school, you the man watching me right now, why would you say now you have invested into her so she becomes you have invested in her to become the registered nurse, the doctor, the whatever, the master's degree holder. Because when you went to Africa, you don't just go and pick up a okra seller. You went and recruit. It's recruitment. You went to recruit this.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. Sorry, guys. My battery was dying, so I was trying to get my son to charge it for me. You went and recruit, like how you recruit people for education or you recruit people for employment. You went to colleges, universities, and recruit intelligent young girls. Come here, impregnate them, boom, 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 to have children. And then you send them to school, boom, boom, boom. And when those intelligent kids, somebody's children, finish the university, now you want to quit your job. I have instances where somebody said, now that you are doing this job and your income is bigger than mine, I'm quitting my job to stay home. Then divorce came. Why would you quit your job? That is the same job you were doing to take care of the family. Now be happy that the woman too is going to have a job. Now work things together so that you still continue being the man and you save some money for the kids' college education and stuff. Rather than saying that, oh, now that you finished the university, you are doing this. And it becomes an issue because you feel bitter and you feel that you are entitled because you send her to school or you send him to school. Think about it very carefully. That is an abuse. If it works for the family, if that is what the two sat down, communicated, and talk about that, now that I have attained this level, let me stop the school. And let me stop. Oh, my husband, I think my reward to you is that you have done enough. So you should, instead of having the two jobs, now that me too, I'm working, you've done enough to take care of the family. Leave one of the job, take one, do only one, and me too, I'll do some. So we see each other and take care of the family. Don't forget, two just means he's not seeing his kids even. You are also not seeing your husband. Sit down and talk about it. When do you start this talk? Before even the school, you have to talk about it. So when I finish, at least I can do this job to help and this and that. Gratitude. The women that are showing this lack of gratitude to the men that provided this support for them is wrong. That's not what I'm talking about. As soon as they get their degrees, they want to leave the men. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about make it work for you too. Don't say that you went and recruit brain to come and invest in them after you. Don't forget, now you are the age you are, even you don't have any energy strength to give to her. Young girl, poor young girl. She has to put up with you not having that strength to satisfy her. On top of that, she has to be the main breadwinner while you quit your job and stay home because you have the mindset and planned and plotted how you are going to execute, carry all your plans and plots. That is what I'm talking about. Financial abuse comes in different forms, different tactics, different strategies. When you do, if you haven't learned anything in this at all, understand that there are women that lost their husbands to financial abuse because they are either dealing in scamming activity. You, the woman, you are there. He come, dump money on you, dump gifts on you. You don't question that. Where is he getting the resources from to shower you? Eventually, it catches up. We are not in Africa. We are in abroad. Everything is biometric. Finger stick is on the check you are writing. The money you are touching, your finger stick is on it. There are surveillance cameras everywhere. The computer you are using to do the transactions, the IPR address, everything is being tracked, is under the microscope. When they grab him, guess who suffers the consequences? It's you. The house he bought scamming those people will be taken, to be taken by the government. Your taxes are going to be taken. If you file tax, because you have to understand that everything links to your social. Everything links to couple. You are still legally married. His property get to be taken. Your property get to be taken because your bank account get to be taken because you are married to him. Legally, you are together. You lose every finance. You lose every property because you were not vigilant enough. Your credit card, he comes, he gives you things. He gives you things. Have you checked and find out that the bag he's bringing, the perfume he's bringing, is not your credit card that is being used? Have you checked all of that? Okay. So we have clocked 2 hours and I would like to leave you guys, but before we go, I hope you understand that my channel is always going to be talking about trauma, abuse victims, survivor, and it's going to always be like that. Once a while, I'll put out my own videos. If I'm at the beach, which you all know, I'm a nature lover. If I'm out, I'll put out vlogs like that. But mainly, it's going to be on mental health. And then don't be surprised once I'm done with this phase of life that I'm in. I may also be doing topics related to maybe online university versus um, face-to-face, pros, cons, things like that. So my channel is basically mental health, trauma, lifestyle, some lifestyle, because it's not going to be exclusively lifestyle like that, but sometimes like I'll expose you to a little bit of my life, and that's how it's going to always be. It's going to always be. If you don't know my name by now, I'm sure everybody knows, but if you don't know my name, it's Mamle Yoko Godwins, and I encourage you to sign up and join my membership. You can join to support. You can, and I'm telling you, most of my content are not eligible for monetization, but I'm still going to put out content because the focus here is to raise an awareness. It's not really for money, and I want to get that straight. I also do outreaches. Before the pandemic, I secured a talk where I go to schools to talk about parental alienation, talk to parents, talk to students. Children are going to parental alienation, and the effect is great. And that is what I need to teach students to understand. Children, elementary school children, middle school children, high school children, to understand that their decision to love a mother or a father should be on them, how they experience their parents. It shouldn't be because my mom said my father is not good. My father said my mom is this. My mother said no. The children's relationship with either parent shouldn't be based on that. So these are the things I do. I do outreaches. I do give charity also, like give food, clothes out to people in need. So if you join my membership, those are the things that your money will be doing. It's going to support me to carry on this initiative. So I would suggest to you that you should consider joining. You can join at any time, and you can also cancel it at any time to support the mission. We are very young, but with time, longevity, endurance, we are going to reach the world with our message, and especially reach Africa with our message on parental alienation. So we are trying to talk about financial abuse today. On the abuse ladder, financial abuse and psychological abuse, I've said it, is the biggest thing for me at least. So my next time I come online, I'm going to focus on emotional abuse, which is also psychological abuse, and tell you how dangerous that is, even compared to physical abuse. Physical abuse can be one time and that's it. But and then you have an injury, you have a pain, and that's it. But with psychological abuse, it is serious, just like financial abuse, and they cut across. Your emotions can be eaten on, can be played on when it comes to financial abuse. You understand? Your emotions, your desires, your needs. You want to go on a trip with your girls. Then you have something, oh, you want to go out with your friends? Which money are you? I thought we are going to use that money to do this. The fact that you are married doesn't mean you shouldn't have a period where you just hang out with your friends, provided it's a healthy association, provided it's not an association that is putting things in your head to go and divorce your husband, provided it's not an instant that is making you go out there and shop extravagantly. I don't shop with my friends. I shop alone. I don't go shopping in a crowd because I don't like to buy impulsively. I buy things when I need them. So I had a friend that when you are going shopping, you're going out, like just her head to toe dressing is maybe $1,500. So when you follow that person to the mall, think about how much you're going to spend. I'm a single mother, this person is married. I have to cut the coat according to my size. I would go out and eat and do all of that. But when it comes to shopping, I would not go out shopping with such a person. You understand? And not because I don't love her, but you have to live within your means. You have to communicate communicate about finances with your spouses so that everybody's needs is met. If you are here and you are watching me, kindly put something there. Let me know what you pick up from this content today. Let me know what you speak home, you are going to take home from this today. The way I wanted to make it more informative, I couldn't do that because I lost all my notes for you. Because financial abuse have categories. We have some major categories, and I have made notes of all that, but I lost it. But I hope I didn't want to cancel it, but I already scheduled it days ahead of time. So I'm hoping that I brought you something that you will learn from it. There are women that are losing their potential, their privilege to drive because of financial abuse, because their husbands used their credit to purchase things at the blind side of them because they trusted them so much with everything. Are you home in an environment where you don't know what is being done in your home? I told you guys there was a time where my mailbox, I wasn't being told to get my mails. My ex-husband have the mail, and he won't let it be. Instead of having a mailbox, you should have a common place in your home where you put the mailbox, everybody go to it. Mailbox should be able to be accessed by everybody, but control, power, it is a form of abuse. The bank accounts, your education, financial abuse, your education can be sabotaged because of financial abuse. Your life can be ruined because of financial abuse. Financial abuse is not just because you are dependent. That is the codependency. I described that in one of the videos. You should look at that, the parallel parenting video. It's a 45 minutes video, but it's worth listening to it. We're not talking about just financial abuse where you are dependent on the man and everything you needed from him, and so he's emotionally abusing you because of that. No. But when you are getting to the point where you want to get independent, you can be sabotaged your education. You go to work. You can go, unless you want to be a housewife, fine. But your parents send you to school, you are educated, you are everything. You are married to a man who is not rich, filthy rich, and is not providing you with luxury. And is also preventing you from working. My sister, financial abuse is real. Are you here and think like, oh, let me go to Africa and bring this young boy to come, use him to take care of my bills? My sister, that boy, not only did you plan on abusing him financially, he also planned on abusing you financially, because guess what? And emotionally too, he will come and dump you, call you old lady. It's not in all the instances. It's not. What I'm saying is not concrete. It's not static. There are dynamics to it. Dynamics means it changes back and forth. While somebody would do that and they'll be successful, it will work for them. You may do it, it may not work for you. So weigh the pros and cons. So now that you listen to it, you are armed. You are more informed. You are more going to make informed decisions and informed choices. You are in Africa. You are running to come to that woman that is you are dating online. Do you know, even if he or she have the ability to bring you to America or Europe or UK or wherever, do you know that she probably have a situation where she has a criminal record or he has a criminal record? You don't even know. Financial abuse affects both men and women. It affects women the most. When you are in Africa, you are in that long distance relationship, and you think you are abusing him, you are using him to accomplish your needs, to My sister, have you asked yourself if he is documented? He has the ability to bring you to America. I was there. I was there. My ex-husband was 20. I was 19 in Ghana, fresh from high school. He came to America with his brother's passport. Did I know? I didn't know. God being so good, I won a visa lottery. I did the visa lottery before he left Ghana. So my visa lottery went, I wasn't planning to talk about it today. My visa lottery went to his mailbox whilst he's in America. Whilst me, poor girl, I'm in teachers training college. My mother sent me to school. The person needs you, but it's also abusing you. It's making you think. And when I was getting married, everybody thought I have a man who is taking me to America. Little did they know, I won my own visa lottery and I was coming. In fact, he wanted me that marriage because he know my visa lottery was going to cover him up. So you are in that Africa. You are following that man abroad. Have you asked yourself if he even have a criminal record that prevents him, that he's going to rush and do that marriage and you'll be stuck in Africa? Does he or she have that job? You need the affidavit of support. Does he even have the employment, the bank statement, the work records, the financial record, the taxes he needs to file for you to come abroad and be with him? That is why I'm telling you, expectations are ruining us. So what are your expectations? Are your expectations those ones that is to take advantage of that person? Or your expectations are that one of Jesus Christ, God's expectations that my condition for you is don't fornicate, don't do this, don't do that, and you will get everlasting life. We have expectations and we have conditions. I'm here right now. The only condition for which I can bring a man to America is if that person is my husband. That is a condition set by the US immigration. You see, there is condition everywhere. Condition is set with everything. So don't go and be with somebody and say, oh, because you have too much expectation, you brought in too much expectation. Yes, there is expectation with everything. So what are you expecting from that relationship? Are you just expecting to be with somebody that you will love and they cheat on you, they don't respect you, they don't this, they don't that? One thing, expectation about cell phone and spouses. How in the world? Explain that to me. When the man will say that, recently there was somebody that was trying to talk to me on Facebook. And he asked me, what do I want in a man? And I said, everything that any normal human being wants. Yes. Peace of mind, respect, for you to cherish me as I cherish you. Don't come and tell me that cell phone, I don't have to touch your cell phone. You know what he said? Oh, dear, left with me, dear. Everybody should hold on to their cell phone. Do you know what you want in the relationship you want to get into? What expectations do you have? My expectation is that I should be able to have a code on my phone so that in case I lost it, my property, my business won't be all out there to a stranger. At the same time, I should be able to give that code to my spouse without him questioning me, without me questioning him. He should be able to feel free to say, hey, honey, babe, you have a phone call. Let me answer it and see what the person needs. Hello, can I help you? Oh, okay, it's the husband. Can I take a message? She's busy, she'll call you back. Or The man is not comfortable in you touching his phone, and you are not comfortable in him touching your phone. Phone that is out here public is private to most men. So the expectation right away, you are ruled out. I won't even give you my time. When you have that mentality that left with you, every woman and every man should hold on to their cell phone. Right away, you told me that cell phone usage is going to be a big issue in the marriage or in a relationship if I try to get to know you. What is your expectation? Financial expectation, academic expectation, religious. Somebody is coming and then they get into your inbox and they are like, what church do you go to? I hate that question. What church do you go to? Are you, hello? That is one big reason why people are being scammed. They come in a shell, stranger don't know you, want to talk about religion, want to get you to be comfortable with them. Be very careful. You want to know me, you talk to the person, start talking to the person. Like I said, have open-ended questions. Sometimes you can just make up stories. Oh, can you believe my friend and the husband, they were fighting over this credit card that the husband used or the wife used. Throw out something out of the blue moon and see his response, see her response. Do you want to marry a woman that is so extravagant yet don't have the income that will cater for that? Throw in questions. Get to know the person. Don't just get up and be worrying about the bed. Worry about, oh, when are you available? Let me take you out. Do you mind having a date? I want to go out. I want to hang out with you. Go out. Get to know the person. Conversation. Communicate. Avail yourself to communicate. Ask questions. Don't forget, financial abuse and all this abuse comes together to hurt your children. I introduce you to the concept of pruning. Let's say you didn't learn anything today from the financial abuse concept. Learn something from pruning, synaptic pruning, brain pruning, child development, and how that can affect your child a long term. How that helps your child to make right choices, academic choices, the choice of friends they make. Pruning. So we are talking about financial abuse today, but I have tied it into a lot of concepts because abuse is broad and it's hard to just talk about money because abusers manipulate and use your emotions to abuse you financially. They assess you and look at what works and basis on that. I'm a person that love advancement, love education, love to maintain certain status, not to show off to anybody, but so that I can afford a comfortable life, afford comfort. Your abusers will sabotage on your education, on your income, on your employment. They will force you to not work, even when you have all the credentials that can bring in income to even support them. They will prevent you from hanging out with certain friends, your bank accounts, your credit. Your credit can save you or kill you. Is your spouse using your credit card? Does he understand the concept of credit card usage? Are you with a foreigner that wants to build a house in his home country, where you probably never go there to stay there? Or you guys, you will encourage him and go frequently so that even if you build that house, you will go and stay there some. Do you know if there is another wife back home for that man. But you work, 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 work. Listen, my sister, if you are watching me, my brother, work became a myth. Have you ever seen that somebody died from poverty? Go and see them in Africa. Go and see, even America here. Go to Baltimore and see them. Go to places and see them. They will survive. So the money you are making, allocate the one that you invest in heavily. If you invest it heavily in your kids' foundation, your kids will become honest. They will be selected by the teachers. They will be selected by the schools. They will have scholarships. They will go to the university without you paying. You will see that you will get to be 50, 60. Your kids are all out of college and have six-figure jobs. And then you are still healthy, strong, and you have life. You are vibrant. You can live life, take vacations, and live life. Stop using credit cards that you don't know who it belongs to. The credit card money is not your money. Use it wisely. It's your spouse on your credit card. In a relationship without phone access, then something is wrong. Oh, yes. Yes. Sure, no problem. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate your presence. And we are ending soon anyway. Let's see if we can push it to 4 more minutes. Guys, so I want you to, if you haven't learned anything at all, the financial topic is a topic you need to talk about. It's a topic you need to talk about, okay? I wrote things down, guys. I wrote things down and I can't find any of them. You know, I wrote a plan that will help you get out, start resolving issues related to financial abuse. You understand? And I can find the document, but just know that the earlier you talk about it, the better. If you sense something is not right, it is because it's not. You should start questioning. You don't question it with aggression. You don't question, be assertive. Oh, I saw you use my credit card last time. What was it for? What did you use it for? Did they deliver it already? Well, oh, the last time the credit card you used, did you pay for it? Did you? Thank you so much. Thank you, Anne. Did you pay for it already? You know it's due. Start talking about it. If it continues and the credit card kept being used and it's not paid, and you have to go pay for it, you need to start having that conversation. Don't go and say you're talking about it, then they'll be like, so now I can't use your money again. I can't use your credit card. No, I don't have a problem with you using it. I just want to know how we are going to pay for it. Don't be scared to talk about it. Two, you that is doing the listening, don't be judgmental. Have a listening ear. Have a shoulder for the victim to cry on. The information you are receiving, don't go spreading rumors and making it your fabricating stories about it. That is one of the major reasons why people are not talking about their abuse. Culturally, we are made to stay there and die. How much stigma we are stigmatizing these issues. We are making victims not feel comfortable about coming out to talk about it. So as a people, we all have a role to play. Talk to a counselor. If you haven't learned anything at all, when something, it doesn't feel right, when your husband keep bringing big paychecks and his income don't coordinate with the lifestyle, start questioning, start asking questions. Suggest you see a counselor, a family counselor. Talk about your concerns. One woman said the husband will bring checks, and this is how he will hold the checks with the fingertips. He did not want to hold it solely, like firmly. He hold the edges and always concerned. And sometimes he will put on gloves. Guess what happened? When the FBI grabbed that man and deported him, she lost their mansion. She lost the cars, even the cars she paid for. Because everything she lost was things that she paid for. Everything he bought with the money he was getting, stealing all around. What he did with it? He shipped them to Africa. The houses he got, the properties he got with those things are in Africa, and they shipped him to Africa. So guess what? He's never going to suffer. It is you that have everything to lose. So just don't be fascinating the lifestyle and not question where the money is coming from. Because there is a proverb in my dialect that when it gets filled, it will hit the lid. So when the financial effects of all that comes together, you are going to be the beneficiary of the pain. You're going to be the victim, the trauma. Everything is going to be you facing it. Thank you all for coming. And I hope that you learned something today. And I hope that you are going to tell it to somebody. And you are going to advise somebody to, even if you don't advise somebody, you are going to be a listener to somebody that is in pain. You are going to be a guide to somebody that is in pain. You are going to be somebody that will provide a genuine shoulder for somebody that is in pain. You are not going to be that person that is going to make the person even more uncomfortable to talk. Imagine me, look at me. People who know me know I'm a good parent to my kids. I'm not perfect. No parent is perfect. But you have people question you. So why did you lose custody? They took your kids and gave them to their father. My sister, when my brother, somebody is talking to you about such things, these are sensitive things. This is not the time to question them. Why and why and why? It is systemic. They don't have answer for the why. They just know that they were saying the truth. They just know that they are dealing with a system that is probably not culturally inclined enough. As in my profession, I'm taught academically to practice culture-based healthcare. Culture-based healthcare, meaning that somebody may be in pain, but they may not want pain medicine. Culturally, because as a man, they believe that expressing pain is a sign of weakness. So I have to understand that. I have to now educate them on how to proceed with their care. And with their input, we develop a plan of care for them. You sit in front of the judge who don't understand cultural attitudes, cultural behaviors, and just see you that is in pain, that is being abused, that is listening to somebody lie about you, and you are ranting and say, no, it's not true. No. And instantly, he hates you for you objecting without waiting for your turn to explain yourself. And instantly, they make decisions that ruins your kid's life and put everything away. These are some of the things that happens. So when somebody loses custody and they come and talk to you, somebody is going through financial abuse, they come and talk to you. Somebody is going through crisis, they come and talk to you. That is not the time to ask questions. That is the time to listen and find out, what can I do to make it better? What can I do to help your situation? If you can't help, at least just listen and encourage morally. I will pray for you. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm sorry you had to endure that. Let's stop victimizing victims, even after their trauma. I will leave you with this. Stop victimizing victims, even after their trauma. They have been victimized enough. They have been abused enough. It's time for you to be there with, if nothing at all, a listening ear. Say, I'm sorry. Hug them. Hug them tight. I'm sorry. I'm here. If you want to talk, I'm here. If you need to talk, send them to Karen. Send them to Eppa Worldwide. My Instagram account is Eppa_worldwide. You can reach me there. My email is eppaworldwide@gmail.com. You can reach me there. If you have a program and you want me to come and talk to a group of women, a group of fathers, a group of parents, you can reach me. Kindly like my Facebook page, Eppa Worldwide. Follow me on Instagram, Eppa Worldwide. Share this feed. It's long, but if somebody can listen to it, it will save somebody's life. Thank you all for being here. Love you all. Adios.